If you were to become president, okay, or if you could know anything about the information that, say, is available out there to you, that even yourself earlier you said, I'm probably not right about everything I'm saying. I could be wrong about a lot of things I'm saying, or some of the things that I'm saying, but I'm pretty confident in my beliefs, right? But if you could know anything that you became president or somebody of that level of power where it's 100% confirmation, what would you want to know and why?
I'd want to know the access to zero-point energy. I'd want to know what technologies have been suppressed that give us access to wireless energy, zero-point energy, perpetual motion devices, or anything else that can generate electricity that takes us off the teat of the electric companies. Because I think that one of the biggest things we need in this world is to bring everyone up to speed and to create a real utopia on this planet is everyone needs to have electricity. It doesn't have to be completely free, but it should be significantly reduced. The price should be significantly reduced, and people should have access to power all over the world.
So you're part of the Secrecy Act of 1951 because you think that's you think we have access to that right now?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been many inventions that have come forward. I mean, I even saw some I've been in some of Dr. Creer's documentaries on Amazon Prime.
I've seen,
And I mean, there's just technologies that we visited different laboratories where they've actually had these devices. The problem that people go out and try to patent this technology, and once you try to patent it, it's over. What you have to do is you have to create open source. I have a tech company called First Class Space. And one of the things, we launched it right before COVID, but then obviously that slowed things down. But the thing that we're doing when we go back live again is we're going to get our engineers and our physicists together, and we're going to create an open source forum. And we're not going to try to patent anything. We're going to put information out for the world so that people get a chance to try to recreate some of these technologies.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch the documentary, that's what he recommends to the guy, right? What is the guy's name that he's calling him? He says, look, here's what's the right way to do it with this invention that you have. Make it open source. And he says, no, I don't want to make it open source. I don't know what the guy's name was. Thomas Moray. I don't know if that was the guy he spoke to or not, but it was one of the guys. He said, why don't you make it open source? No, I can't do that.
Yeah.
We got to keep it. This is my baby. And he says, no, this is not your baby. You got to let this out to everybody else. Is this where you think Musk, to him, everything is about open source? You want the software, what we're doing Tesla? Here. You want to know what we're doing with this? Here. Yeah. Even when he invested originally in the nonprofit Open AI, his goal was, I think he said he put $50 million of his own money, give or take. And he's feeling like now it's no longer being Open AI. He's like, wait a minute, if you're doing this, I'm going to start my own Apple iPhone. Do you think that's where his position is with OpenAI?
Yeah, because I got to give it to him. He was smart. He created industries by doing open source. You want to create an electric car industry? Well, you got to open source it so that you can create the industry for it, because everybody can get a copy of the battery. Everybody can make a battery. Now you got competition. Without competition, you don't have an industry. So he did a very brilliant thing doing that. I got to give it to him on that. And understanding that that is the mentality that it takes to expand and spread technology, information, resources, and software around the planet in a way that can be utilized and great for entrepreneurs especially. You have to open source things. And so once you close it off and try to hold it near and dear to your heart, the only thing you do is end up getting either taken out or getting your invention or your software taken away, getting it eminent domain and suppressed. But you make it open source. I mean, everybody has it now, and everybody can do something with it. Now you have a whole industry.
Is it a form of being a whistleblower, like what Snowden and some of these guys said? Once I put the information out there, it's out there. But if I keep it to myself, they're going to come and take me out, right?
Yeah.
There's almost it's a lesser risk if you put it out there than to keep it to yourself. But financially, it's attractive to say, no, I'm not going to leak it to anybody else because, what if they steal my patent? What if they steal this? What if they steal that? Go back to zero-point energy.
Yeah.
Why, zero-point energy? There's many different things. Why is that so intriguing to you?
Well, when you look at the ancients and you see the flower of life symbol, the flower of life pattern.
By the way, would you like any tea or coffee, or are you good?
I'll take a little sip of water. Yeah. The flower of life, the flower of life pattern in ancient texts and ancient cultures is pretty interesting, because inside of that pattern, I believe that pattern, in my opinion, is the face of God. The face of God potentially could be the flower of life. When you look at the flower of life and understand that it's an energy pattern, and when you access those interconnecting circles and the flower of life, and you take a look at them, you can fit 64 tetrahedrons inside the circle laid over top the interconnecting grid. Those 64 tetrahedrons create a vortex or a connecting piece in the middle that is called a vector equilibrium. And within that vector equilibrium, you have an unlimited source of unparalleled energy. And that flower of life symbol, that energetic symbol, where the crosses of those circles meet, is called the Vesica Piscis. It's known as the womb of life. It's where all energy emanates into the third dimension to create the reality that we're seeing here. And so this symbol exists at every Planck unit in space-time that exists throughout the entire known universe. And it's the source of energy, and it's the source of the vibration for everything that exists in the known universe. And so that's why I say that, in my opinion, is the face of God.
That, in your opinion, is the face of God. Okay, so do you think the only reason why it's not open to the rest of us is because of the industries it'll destroy, or do you think there's other reasons for it? I know we talked about
there's many reasons. Well, there's one reason is this is a source of unparalleled energy and power. If everyone knew how to tap into it, it could be dangerous. I would agree with that. If it's set up in a way where it can be harnessed and distributed,
right?
Like we do, look, nuclear energy is dangerous. It can blow up things, but we have nuclear power plants, right? So the understanding how to utilize zero-point energy and then distributing the energy is something we're already doing with nuclear power plants. It's nothing outrageous to think that we couldn't do it. And understanding that, having empathy for people, not seeing yourself as above everyone, but trying to find a way, how do we bring everyone up? How do we give everyone an opportunity to be on the same playing field? How do we make everyone, give everyone a seat at the table? You give them energy so that they can raise their kids healthy, so they can have running water, so they can flush their toilets, so they can get access to things like medicines and so forth that they need, so they can have machines that have irrigation and so forth, so they can grow crops so all these things are needed for humanity to thrive. The people at the top, it's a very small group of people, they in some way don't want to see everyone on the same playing field, or at least 1 or 2 levels beneath them. They'd rather keep them 10 levels beneath with a boot on their neck. And it's all about control, and it's all about power. It's all about domination. It's not about money, because money can be printed with zeros and ones that don't even exist. So we have to find a way to get through this, to take back control of this planet, to help humanity. I think that right now we're on a precipice. We can go left or we can go right. We're really on the fence right now. And I think that I'm optimistic, though, that humanity will pull through, that we'll get through this age. I believe that we've really pretty much gotten through the nuclear age. We're at the tail end of it. But I think we have some more huge challenges to come. But we have to see that you and I are brothers, and every person on this planet are brothers and sisters, and stop falling for the divide and conquer tactics. Left wing, right wing, it's all the same bird.
It's working very effectively, though.
Yes, it is.
So let's go back to it. So, you think Trump said that because Trump wants the people to know that I can keep a secret. Okay. Some may say, well, the files you had at Mar-a-Lago, we don't know if you can keep secrets because you're going to want to brag about what you have. Anyways, that's a power play that sometimes you speak code. Mm-hmm. You may have today spoken to the other YouTuber that's maybe calling you out that none of us know about, but you're speaking code to him, and he knows what you just said that you called him out, right? That's what I mean when I say speaking code. Okay, so then who are the people that have access to these Secrecy Act of the 6,000 patents, or John F. Kennedy, or Area 51?
Yeah.
Who are these people, these faceless people that we don't know about, that have more power than the leader of the free world? Who are they?
We're talking about the elite oligarchs, less than 100 families that control everything you hear, see, smell, touch, what you can say, what you can't say, where you can go, what invisible line on the planet you can cross, what invisible line you can't cross. Those are the people that dominate and control the banking systems around the entire planet. That one family is worth about $700 trillion. They control a lot of the pharmaceuticals, through the Rockefeller
Foundation. Did you say 700 trillion?
Yeah.
Who's the one family?
The Rothschilds are worth $700 trillion.
I don't even think there's that much currency in the world. Can you type in Rothschild net worth? Okay, keep going. I'm listening.
It's the family's net worth combined. Okay. Yeah. So they control all the central banks along with their partner Rockefeller. They have Rockefeller Foundation has access to a huge part of the pharmaceutical industry, and they've made a lot of money off of that. Now, I don't want to try to put those people down or say anything negative about them. It just is what it is. But there's people along the same level that they're at that also have these powers. The Council for Foreign Relations and all these different, these different groups that exist to help cultivate and create the rules and laws that they want to see executed on this planet, and the people on this planet being in full collusion with what they say. In other words, the governments are supposed to work for us. We are the people that are supposed to control the governments. And they flipped it and they have it where we have to listen to them and that they control us, when it's supposed to be the opposite way around. When I go see a doctor or an attorney and they start talking things that I don't agree with, I say, hey, well, slow down. You work for me. I'm your boss. You see, this is the mentality you have to have when you're dealing with governments. You have to realize, wait a minute, you're a public servant. I'm your boss, and you're going to do what I tell you to do. You have to flip it, and you have to make your power play. You have to let them know, like, I'm in control here. I hear what you're saying, but this is what I'm going to do, or I don't agree with this situation. Look a little deeper over here, or don't do that because I said it. Not for you to influence me consistently into doing something that you want to see or get the outcome that you particularly want. And I think that we have to understand the power that we have and the ability we have to unify and organize and to become, a united front to get the outcome that we're looking for.
So you don't think the Trump family's an oligarch yet to have that kind of power, that kind of money that these guys have? Meaning that he's on the inside to say, well, one of us is going to be running it, because they're definitely treating him like not one of us.
Yeah, no, I think it's higher than that.
Higher what than that?
Yeah.
You're talking even more money than Musk's got.
Yeah.
Musk's not even in that community, is what you're saying.
No, I don't think so at all.
Got it.
It's really big. These
And you think they know exactly what's in there? You think they're the ones that are sitting there? So how do they, let's just say, let's play that up. And again, I don't know if Rothschild net worth is 700 trillion, because I don't think there's $700 trillion in circulation, but let's say that's the case. Let's go on that part. So, okay, how do you control the people that have access to those 6,000 patents? Man is pretty ambitious, right? It's, when I one time sat down with Jonah Mendes, who was the former chief disguise officer of the CIA for 28-something years, I said, what makes for a great CIA agent? I'll never forget what she said. Yeah. She said a great CIA agent is someone that's very charming, charismatic, competitive, ambitious, driven, smart, brilliant, all of these things. However, when this CIA agent has access to information that could prevent the next World War III, and he knows he just prevented the next big war, he doesn't need to go brag about it to others, right? That's what she said makes for a great CIA agent. Yeah. Okay, how do these oligarchs, if you say those are the people, how do they hire the people in charge of these types of information, knowing, even though they have their own self-motivation and ambitions, don't leak it? How do they trust these people?
Well, there's a couple of things. And first of all, in the $700 trillion, that's combined assets. It's not just cash; it's assets, land, and everything else. But on the other question, how do how do they control people? Everything is compartmentalized. It's the oldest technique and tactic utilized in the military-industrial complex. To have so many moving pieces, you have to be a real mastermind, and they are, where you have people doing things and jobs and tasks that they don't even know how it connects to something else. They only know they're executing this one small task. And even with that, they have a secrecy agreement, or a gag order, or whatever type of NDA they signed. It lets them know, if you violate this, these are the things that can happen to you. Most likely, a lot of those threats are most likely that you're violating a securities oath that's going to put you in violation.
Okay. So what are you going to do to me?
Yeah. Well, those people could be put in prison. Imagine if you say, if you leak this, it's a national security risk. All of a sudden, now we can lie. These people are tied into every aspect and every.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how many people you think know about the 6,000 patents? How many total people?
How many total people know?
How many
all the patents?
people do you think that are controlling and protecting that since it came out in 1951? So let's just say in the last.
Oh, the patents. Yeah. Well, I'm sure a lot of people know now, but it's like. The problem with humanity is...
Okay, how many people know about John F. Kennedy's assassination? How many people know about the aliens? How many people know about the inventions that they've hidden from us? Zero-point energy. How many total people you think have access to all that?
I know about John F. Kennedy's assassination. I have a very good idea who did it.
Well, I want to go to that here in a minute. But how many people you think have access to that information?
Right now, I think a lot of people, because it's been researched for so many decades.
You think all these 6,000 patents are all public, that people know about it? All 6,000 of them?
They're not all 6,000, but people have been digging and digging and digging. Probably hundreds of people now have found information that's available, or links to information, or seen patents that got abandoned that they were then taken over by the government.
I guess what I'm asking is the people that you say, the oligarchs that say, hey, if you leak this, we're going to destroy your life. We're going to put you in jail. I mean, the Invention Secrecy Act says we're going to put you in jail if you do it. So it's like very straight up.
Yeah.
But is it fair to say the people that control that have the information, can we say there's 400 of them, 300 of them, 500 of them?
Fair enough. That's
okay.
Fair enough, yeah.
Do you think a man is a noble man to know that could help a lot of the average day-to-day people? If he doesn't leak that information, do you call that noble? Or do you think a person that could whistleblow that to leak it to the open source it to the rest of the world would benefit from it? Some of these things could be cured to certain health challenges that we have today, that boom, with this one simple thing that we have, cancer is gone, XYZ is gone.
Right.
Do you think there's nobility in leaking it or there's nobility in keeping it?
Well, it's a real tough question because if you have to be in that position. If I was in that position, I'd have to make a tough decision. Do I risk my life or do I risk my future, my family, to leak this information to the general world and to general population and give the chance for people to stop getting on chemotherapy because now we can really cure this cancer? It's a tough decision. I haven't been put in that position yet, so to be honest with you, I couldn't answer the question.
That's fair.
If I was in that position, then but I haven't been put in that position. It's a hell of a position to be in. I kind of wish I was.
You kind of wish you were.
Yeah.
Got it. So go back to John F. Kennedy. He says you think you know what happened to John F. Kennedy. Is it any different than what we've heard? Is it a unique position or is it?
I don't know if it's unique. I think that the mafia was involved with the CIA and the mafia, and I believe that the order for the kill was given by George Bush Sr., who happened to work at the CIA at the time, and I think the body was brought over by the mafia to the plane, and then they took it from there. I think that the ultimate order came from George Bush Sr. That's my opinion.
And that's based on what? Research on what you think, reading certain things?
Yeah, just researching the whole thing, understanding what securities risks that JFK had posed at the time with regards to aliens, Marilyn Monroe, and also, of course, wanting to change the economic system, wanted to get away from the fiat currency system. I think a combination of those things together put him in jeopardy.
And why Bush Sr.?
Well, he had the power. He was the head of the CIA at the time. He had the power to do it.
Have you read into the fact that when they ask him, where were you on the day of the assassination? I don't know where I was on that day.
Yeah.
Some people don't know where he was on that day. Have you followed that story?
Yeah, nobody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me when you think about that.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.